What's the best section order for your GMAT focus? How important is it for your performance? How much time should you put into choosing? I've been asked all of these since getting my perfect score. If you're unfamiliar with me, I'm Julia, and I'm here today to discuss each of these questions in a little more depth. Then I'll give you some tools to help decide your ideal strategy for choosing your section order. How important is section order to your testing performance? I'd argue it's fairly important. Aligning the section order with the way that your energy waxes and wanes through the test will give you an advantage. However, you will have to get more familiar with your own energy ebbs and flows, and to do that, you will have to practice. How much time should you put into choosing the correct section order? If you play your cards right, it won't take too much active time. It's more important to plan your mock exams and other studying with the additional goal of discovering your ideal section order in mind. Then you can knock out both things, learning about the GMAT and learning about yourself, in the same study sessions. What's the best section order for you to choose when taking your GMAT focus? It depends. Here are the tools and experiments that helped me narrow it down. Keep in mind that the GMAT is a long test. If you are like me, this 2 to 3 hours of scheduled intense focus will be out of the norm for you. So you might have to develop or redevelop the skills needed to do it like you would a muscle. The first thing I recommend is building in some long-form practice while preparing. That means sitting for review questions in a decently sized block of time. Start with half an hour, then go up to an hour, and then up to an hour and a half, and so on. This will help you strengthen your ability to focus for the period of time that you will be required to focus. Later on, this will take the form of conducting your mock exams in conditions that mimic the real exam conditions as closely as possible. You can take extra breaks on the mock exams, or you can pause things whenever you want, but that isn't true for the real exam, so try to minimize it as much as possible. My second recommendation is to carefully track how you feel mentally and physically during your mock exams. After each one, take some notes on when you were feeling confident, doing your best, or had a lot of energy. Also, mark down where your energy lagged or you felt discouraged. TPP offers a little debrief questionnaire after each mock exam that helped me notice my own energy and focus trends, but you could do your own if you wanted to. It's best to write down everything you remember about your feelings during the exam experience, because things that you don't think are important might actually represent a trend once you've gone through a few mocks. This includes physiological symptoms that you notice, as often physiological symptoms are a manifestation of mental symptoms. Think like stress headaches, but without taking good notes, you might not make that connection. That's why I also recommend noting it down after, as in right after you sit for the mocks. This way it's as fresh on your mind as it's going to get. My third recommendation features a little math spoiler for those of you who have not yet begun your review of permutations. How many different ways are there to order the 3 distinct sections of the GMAT focus? How many mock exams are you given on the official website? If you said 6 to both, gold star for you. I chose to order the exam in each of the 6 ways while doing my box, so I could evaluate my performance under each situation. The practice was illuminating for me. On my real GMAT, I ended up doing data insights first, then quant, then verbal. Data insights worked as a warm-up for the other 2 sections since it features questions of both quant and verbal types. Quant is the section I feel I need the most energy on, so I wanted to do it after I was warmed up, but before I was mentally fatigued. Verbal is my easiest section, as I read a lot recreationally, And it's sometimes easier for me to focus on passages than it is for me to focus on pen and paper longhand calculations. Doing verbal as my final section balanced my strengths with the subject against my fatigue from being 2 sections deep into the exam. Maybe your best test order is the same as mine, and if so, awesome. We'll start a club. Doing a little experimentation on yourself won't add much effort to your prep process, but it could be very helpful for your final results. I felt it was helpful for my final results. Best of luck, keep studying, and I will see you soon.